Right is Quirinus. Still is the purple Zerg. Okay. So... yeah, let's just kind of ignore that last game even happened. I really don't think it's going to affect how either player play, other than Asmodey will not go for 12 necks. No more 12 necks for Asmodey. Alright. It looks like he's very much so not going to go for 12 necks. Going with the in-base pylon. Going to go for some 2-gate action. Scouting out his opponent last. So the probe will be a little bit late if he wanted to bring a probe along to help out. Obviously bringing the probe to Age or Initial Zealots is rarer in PvZ than it is in PvP or PvT, but not completely unheard of. It's possible. Alright. Well, Quirinus with the 12 hatch. Could be a little bit hard this time. Could be a little bit hard for him to hold off Initial Zealots, because the Zerglings are going to be out so late. But unless Asmodey goes with his very first Zealot and just attacks, Quirinus should be able to get out enough lings to not die. Putting spawning pool here instead of back here. This is one of the maps where normally the spawning pool goes back here. Pretty small. Honestly, I never understood why this was a thing. Why you want that spawning pool here. It makes sense in ZVZ to help out and guard against the Ling just coming in and sniping the end drone. But when the Zealots are so much slower, I think I'd rather prefer that mobility with my Zerglings to try to hold them off. Alright. I like how as soon as Elegant leaves, everybody just starts busting out the World War II jokes. It's like, oh, nobody will ban me now. No problem. Just spam those World War II jokes. Whatever. Alright. So, Quirinus is going to go and throw down 2 sunken colonies. Canceling one of them. Alright. Repositioning it over here. He's kind of spreading them out a little bit far. And that one kind of mattered all of his minerals. Yeah, probably best you canceled it. Alright. This really shouldn't be too much of an issue for Quirinus here. That many Zealots. I mean, more Zealots are going to be coming in. And Asmodey's going to get one big attack off. But what's his transition out of this? Because I don't think that one big attack is going to work as long as Quirinus doesn't get too greedy with the drones and just keeps making Zerglings. I mean, the Overlord, he did get supply blocked a little bit there, so that's a bit unfortunate. Could slow down Zergling production a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be too much. Alright. Okay. Are we going in? Is Asmodey going in? Okay, Asmodey's going in. He really only has one chance with this. There are 3 Sunkens. I don't think this is gonna work terribly well. Even Quirinus is even pulling drones. Like, lots of drones to do this. Yeah, Quirinus is fine. Asmodey, Just hold off. All you need to do is hold off with these zealots and just get a citadel and then get speed. Then they're going to be a lot stronger. Angelus 10. Man. I'm reading the chat and all the jokes. We're like 2 jokes away from saying that Russia suicided a bunch of its workers to clear up supply. It's inevitable. I'm just gonna go out and say it because I know it's coming. Zealots going in again. Oh, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. And in fact, the Zealots are heading back home. Asmodey has been able to get his expansion in this time, so decent economy maybe after the 2-gate. Quirinus didn't take too much damage of his own, so really not a very eventful start of the game as far as that 2-gate could have been. Now here are the things that you do need to worry about though. There is no wall, so Zergling run by, very big threat. On the flip side, once Asmodey gets his citadel up, he will have a very, very strong speed lot attack. And it'll be a little bit delayed, but it's going to have obviously a lot more speed lots than it normally would. So these are the 2 things why that the start of the game caused to be different than a normal game would be. Quirinus even bringing his Hydralisk, so it might not even be a straight up run by, but more of a bust kind of thing. It's a little bit risky. The speedlets are pretty strong. Without speed, they shouldn't be able to catch up to the Hydralisks if they're microed correctly. As long as Quirinus knows what he's doing here, doesn't allow the Zealots to get a good surround, or doesn't forget to pay attention to the Hydralisks for too long. Quirinus should be absolutely fine here. Range is just finishing up, and 2 more Hydralisks are coming in. That might be what he was waiting for before deciding to attack. Scouting Dragoon? Nah, I think that was a misclick. Or a misrally, either way. Lair on the way for Quirinus. And, ooh, that's a lot of cannons. Quirinus does need to find the range where the cannons won't be a big factor. Yeah, I thought for a second that they were all powered by the same pylon, but no. There's a second pylon here that covers all of them except for this one. Alright. Well, speed is almost done. And Asmodey hasn't been building that many extra zealots. He's getting a couple of extra zealots out, compared to where the +1 attack would normally be. +1 also finishing up, so only slightly stronger because he didn't continue the zealot production. Also getting some DTs. He's had that Stargate up for a while, but I haven't seen any Corsairs. And obviously with how late the Spire would be able to get something going with the Corsairs if he had wanted to. Now Quirinus can pull all of his units back, but if he's not careful, he might end up losing this base over here, which apparently one zealot was already hacking away at a little bit. Does look like Quirinus is pulling more of his units back to defend it than to defend his main. Smart decision, as the Sunken Colonies will delay for a while. But the question is, will it be enough against the +1 speed lots? There's a lot of Hydralisks. It looks like Asmodey doesn't want to deal with it. He might have been. It would have been kind of close. It does provide the scout, though. So he knows whether the DTs have a chance to do damage in there or not. And they can if they just go to the back here. With the +1 upgrade, that means they can that 2 DTs combined can one-shot Hydralisks. Very nice to have. But it's not going to quite be enough. DT's not doing a whole lot of damage here. The other one's going to try to sneak in this way, but 2 Overlords, that's just not going to happen. Easily stuffed. And Protoss now trying to take an expansion. Alright. Nice. Ooh, really nice storm. Really nice storm from Asmodey there. It's holding off Quirinus, where this is a pretty dangerous attack path. I'm actually kind of surprised that Quirinus did the Lurker Egg trick here. I mean, he wanted to try to block out as many Zealots as possible, so that the Hydras were stronger, but at the same time, he's just blocking himself out and allowing those cannons to be built. There is a Templar, but it has no energy for Storm. No Observers mean that these Lurkers are just going to be too much. The cannon almost gets up, not quite. Those cannons could actually provide detection to help against the Lurkers if they're allowed to live for too long. But no, they are not. They're very quickly taken out, and it looks like Quirinus is going to be able to take out Asmodey's third. Very nice by him. After taking out that third, he can move his forces into position here, start to get a little bit of a choke. Very good for him. Asmodey, not in the best of positions right now. Getting... is that +2 weapons? It is. That's a relatively fast +2, but as Quirinus is moving in, getting the Lurkers in a good position. Can he splash down a High Templar? Oh, but he's getting really badly stormed. Actually, didn't hit that one. I thought it could hit. It could have hit all 3, but it's slightly misplaced, so it did miss one of the Lurkers. Still, does kill one. Very much so injures another. And Quirinus is getting that position he's looking for. Probably should unburrow Lurker, but a little bit farther forward. He's only working with 3 right now. More lings coming up. Should probably bring this Hydralisk as well. We'll realize that eventually. Storm going down, picks off 1 Lurker, but still 2 there, with more morphing in. He really needs more Lurkers at this point. A lot of the reinforcements aren't Lurkers, and 5 is the very bare minimum, I would say, that Quirinus would want to contain like this. I think it'd be better if he went for some more. Alright. $85 supply compared to 73. Zerg with a supply lead. Not good for Protoss at this stage of the game. Observers are coming out if they aren't already out. I haven't seen any. And Asmodey hasn't been losing his High Templar, which is really nice. So he's up to 4, and they're sitting here gaining energy. 105, 105. 75 and 106. Looks like Zerg taking hit expansion down at this bottom left. I like Zerg taking expansions like this because the difference between Protoss being able to attack this base and this base up here is kind of minimal. But when you take that base down there, it makes it so that if Protoss does clear it out and want to take an expansion down there, like the mineral's already half gone. And that can be kind of nice if you're going to a much later point in the game. Meanwhile, Asmodey trying to break out here, catching Quirinus at a good time where he doesn't quite have the Lurker count to deal with it, and actually softening up a lot with Storms. If he doesn't want to engage here, he doesn't have to. Ooh. But it is going to cost him a High Templar and 2 of them morphed into an Archon. He looks like he really just wants to continue with this attack here, but I don't know if that's the best option. The Zerglings are coming in, and the Archon's not actually going after the Zerglings, so the Zerglings are attacking the High Templars and the Dragoons that they want to be attacking at this stage. And Quirinus holds. And as long as Quirinus holds, that's amazing success for Quirinus. That's all he needs to do. More gateways being thrown down. Asmodey has 1 more shot. After 1 more chance, his main is mined out. And he's just dead. You won't be able to create another bust attempt off of just off of just mining 1 base. Alright. Hive coming up for Quirinus. Pause. I'm gonna guess Defilers? I don't think he wants to bust with Ultralisks. Ultralisk doesn't seem to really fit the build he was going for. If he didn't want to get Hive at all, I'd kind of be on board for that too. Just invest your gas in lots and lots of lurkers. Create a never-ending field of them so that Asmodey can't just storm them all down. Asmodey going for a little speed lot drop? What are the upgrades looking like for the record? 2-0 compared to 0-2. Alright, mirror images of each other right now. With 3-0 about to be in for Asmodey, going for those heavy attack upgrades. He did not throw down a second... Excuse me, he did not throw down a second forge to help with those upgrades. Where Quirinus is just not upgrading anymore at all. Zealots coming in. All going to drop on the Evo Chamber, but the Evo Chamber is not researching anything. That spawning pool is getting cracked. That's a much better target right now. Zealots obviously cannot see which one of these two buildings is researching anything, as neither of them have research animations. And is Asmodey going to be able to save that spawning pool? Pretty sure he is. Now they're going after the Spire again. Really, the best thing they could be going for would be the Defiler Mound or the spawning pool here. Or even the drones, possibly. Finally, Quirinus coming back to try to defend it. Now going after the Defiler Mound. Hydralisk attacking the wrong one and not getting into good position to attack these ones. It looks like the Defiler Mound is going to be lost, but... Oh, Quirinus! Quirinus not using his units to do anything. Distracted by what's going on this side, but it's going to cost him the Defiler Mound. Certainly delay those. Dare I say the crack was more important than the Defiler Mound? Just because Defilers wouldn't have been... Defilers would have been very nice here, but I don't know if it would have been quite as nice as crack. This is a lot of Dragoons. I take that back. I didn't realize... You know what? No. Like, oh, but crack is so good versus Dragoons too. It's a toss-up. I guess maybe the Defiler Mound was a better option. I mean, from Asmodey's perspective, he certainly didn't make the right choice, because he didn't know whether crack was beat research or not. So go after what's obviously a good idea, rather than what could be a good idea. And those goons just melt so quickly to cracklings, it's ridiculous. Alright. Hydros moving in. Man, the Hydros are also rather good versus those Dragoons. Asmodey's trying to break out. He is definitely all in with this bust attempt. And the Lurker field isn't that much deeper, but here comes the Defiler. Defiler, no! Run away! Yo! Defiler just barely survives. He's going to have enough energy for one swarm. That's all he needs. He just needs that one swarm for when Asmodey tries one more time. And it looks like here it comes. Storm going down. A very nice storm, kicking out a lot of Quirinus' Hydralisks. There's the swarm. That's the money swarm he is looking for, so that he can get the Lurkers into a good position and hold off the Dragoons and whatnot. There are Zealots and an Observer, but the Zealots are not going after that Dragoon. And that one Lurker. That one Lurker... Is it? No. Asmodey is reacting properly to the one Lurker. Coming back with the Zealots, moving forward with the Goons. And it won't quite be enough. So close, but not quite enough. Quirinus has invested a lot into the contain. You can see by his supply, down to just 71. Where Asmodey's at 103. But Asmodey needs to expand immediately. Oh, Quirinus going for rebuilding the Spire before the Defiler Mound. Alright. Alright. So Asmodey's gonna go for a big counterattack here. That's another risky move. You need to get that expansion up. So the safe move would just to be stick back here, stop cracklings from killing your Expo. But you do have a very strong army, and you killed off a lot of Quirinus' army. Maybe you could break through and do something good if you could attack. It's risky if Asmodey moves out, but it could really pay off for him. Right now, Quirinus only behind by 25 supply, getting his Ultralisks out too. 2-1 on the Lings compared to 3-1 on the Dragoons. It looks like Asmodey has finally stopped upgrading. Quirinus working on his 2-2. So once that's done, it'll be 3-1 versus 2-2, even upgrades. But actually, the even upgrades in that regard will favor the Protoss, because it's better to be higher on attack as Protoss than higher on defense. Quirinus could be for a flank, could be for a backstab. Gonna be able to snipe that High Templar, but there's a Dark Templar there that can chew through all these units as there's no Overlord. And it also alerts Asmodey that there's force here. Quirinus backing off before anything bad happens. I don't think he wants to engage with this force. It's a scary force, but man, just one Defiler makes it so much stronger against that many Dragoons. I think he's better off waiting. Alright. Well, Asmodey, he's going all in. He can't back out now. There is a very scary force to prevent the retreat. Asmodey needs to kill off a base here. He's chosen to do it. He might be able to. That's a very scary Protoss force that's attacking right now. And Quirinus is going to come in from behind with all the Ultralisks and all the Cracklings, but they're going to be funneled through a pipe. They're going to be stormed as they move through. There we go. Very, very good storm. Hitting a lot of the Ultralisks, even hitting Overlords. There's another storm. All the Lings are dead. It's just up to the Ultralisk, but there's a lot of Ultralisks versus a lot of Dragoons. I think that this is going to be cost efficient for Asmodey here, but no, maybe? Maybe? Was it worth it? Was it worth it for either player? The units doomed themselves as soon as they got this far. And they can they kill all the Ultralisks? Yes, they are going to be able to kill off all the Ultralisks. And killing off hatcheries, and killing off sunken colonies, and maybe even a little bit more. Oh, with this 20 kill Archon. This very nice 20 kill Archon. Now 21. Ugh. Probe? I think probably misclick. Not going to go expand the middle of the map, right? No cannon rushing. I think not. I don't think Asmodey realizes about this base yet. Once he figures out that there's base here, he won't be so keen to be attacking, or at least he'll divert some attention to attacking down there instead of up here, because this is very well defended. I think Asmodey. I'm pretty sure Asmodey believes he's about to win the game by taking out this main, but really, it's not the most important thing for Zerg here. I mean, it's important. There's a lot of tech here, but he doesn't need it for economic reasons. Alright. Defiler moving in. Defiler barely gets the swarm down, and it looks like this attacking force... Man, this Archon, up to 37 kills. 37 kills. Almost gonna die, but no. 38 kills. The drones! Oh, the drones kill a 38 kill Archon. If the Archon had gone under the swarm, he would have been protected from drone spit. Drones cannot spit through swarm. So unfortunate. The supply is actually starting to swing more in Quirinus' way now. He's only behind by 10. And cleaning up the last of these Dragoon forces, 17 kill Dragoon. Can the Dragoon... No, there's no way the Dragoon gets out. So sad. So sad. But Asmodey, he's bought himself enough time to get a base. And that's where I think it really comes in. If he knew that Quirinus had this base, and that he wouldn't be immediately... He wasn't going to... And he knew he was not going to win the game with that attack, he would have gotten more than just being on one base right now. Because after all that aggression, I don't think that's the position Asmodey wants to be in. He does have a very scary army, though. There's a lot of Archons. He's clearly gonna have a good amount of gas. I mean, that's depleted, but this still has a little bit left, about to be depleted. I mean, it's one mining mineral base compared to 1 2/3 mining gas bases, or 1.5 mining gas bases. Alright. Good storm. Good storm to start off the battle. The moving out of the way of the swarm, so it really doesn't help here. And man, these Archons are going to be able to splash down all the Lings. The Lings, despite having cracked, despite having good upgrades, are just not going to be a big factor in these battles because of so much splash damage from these Archons. It's going to come down to the Ultralisks. But Quirinus cannot afford to throw away Ultralisk at this point. He doesn't have the economy. He's on 2 bases. You can't afford Ultralisk on 2 bases. These Ultralisks are gifts at this point, because he's not going to get them back. He needs to keep them alive. He needs to figure out how to invent medic technology to heal this one back up. Maybe get the drone to repair it or something. Or he could just like sit here for 10 minutes. I can't remember how long it takes an Ultralisk to recover all of its health, but it's something stupidly long. Next attack coming in from Asmodey. He's going to be able to finish off the main. There's no way the main's going to be saved, and I don't think Quirinus should even bother to try. A couple of Archons getting a little bit far out here, and even a Templar being thrown away. Quirinus, it looks like he's going in. It's just not going to be in time to save anything, as most of the tech is gone. The Hive is not going to quite be lost, but now here come the Ultralisks at the last moment to come in to try to save the Hive. All the other important structures are gone. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to be throwing away your Ultralisk like that to save the tech? I don't know. I don't know if those Ultralisks, man. I might be putting a little bit too much value in them, but they're really damn valuable at this point. And this base will in fact go down. Everything lost. Quirinus has 2 bases on complete opposite sides of the map. Does also have this base, but there's a DT that's kind of doing some good stuff. And a probe. The DT probe attack. You've seen the DT. You've seen the Zealot probe attack. Well, this is it's exactly like that. But the DT gets a swing in, and then the drone has 1 health, and the probe finishes it off. That's what's going on. And no, that totally doesn't work because the DT already has 3 attack upgrades, so it one-shots drones anyway, but stop ruining for me. People using logic. So, go back to what I was saying. Two bases on complete opposite sides of the map for Quirinus here. Completely isolated. There's no way that one base could help another base at this point. But Asmodey only has 1 base. And that's the difference. Kind of feel like this is like a campaign mission, where like the Protoss is here, then it's like there's 2 Zerg bases on opposite sides of the map, and you have to take them both out. I kind of get that feeling. Obviously, these Zerg bases are going to be able to communicate with each other a lot better, but getting that vibe. So, Quirinus behind by 40. Behind by 50? Behind by 50 supply. Ugh, that's really getting to the point where it's like where Protoss just has too much of an advantage. And Zerg can't overcome a 50 supply deficit. Or at least it's rather difficult. Maybe if it was max versus 150, I wouldn't feel that way. But since it's 125 versus 75, ugh. It's icky. Really icky. Now Asmodey's moving in. I don't know if Asmodey can save that base. Ugh. Or, excuse me, if Quirinus could save that base. If there's any way to prevent Asmodey from killing it. But Quirinus is going to try. Everything being brought to bear here. I think the Hydralisks are very undervalued at this point. They're so good. They're going to be so strong versus the Archons compared to anything else in the Zerg arsenal. And is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? That one lurker is going to do so much damage. The one lurker, MVP of the battle right here for softening up the zealots, for convincing Asmodey he needs to turn around. But Asmodey's not done. These units are going to die, but can they take out the bottom left base before it happens? Because at the same time, Asmodey can't replenish. He cannot replenish this army very effectively off of only one base. But they're going to do a lot of damage. And it might be reduced to one base versus one base. And if it is, that's unwinnable for Zerg. Zerg needs to figure out a way to save this base right now. He's saving all the drones. He's saving all the drones, but can he save everything else here? He hasn't lost any important buildings yet. Just a couple sunken colonies. There goes the spawning pool. There goes the spawning pool, but the spawning pool isn't even that important. The hatcheries aren't even that important either. I think like this hatchery is really just defines the base. Because he doesn't need to make a whole lot more Zerglings. He can rebuild the Hydralisk Den for pretty cheap, but if he loses that hatchery, if he loses this hatchery, oh, Quirinus expanding to a different corner. Quirinus in all corners of the map, except for the one that Asmodey has. And it looks like he will be able to just barely hold Quirinus off. Is it enough? Is it enough? Quirinus actually has been able to make a pretty damn strong army. I didn't think he'd have enough economy, but apparently one base is enough. He won't be able to after this. This is it. This is Quirinus's army, or excuse me, this is Asmodey's army. He is not making anything more. Man. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal as Asmodey moves in. It can't be done. Quirinus put up a hell of a fight. But this base is going down, and it's going to go down, and nothing of Protoss is going to be lost. There are observers, in case there was a random lurker here to really try to mess him up. Man. Quirinus now even mined out at this base. So he has one mining base versus Protoss' one mining base. And it looks like Protoss is even expanding. Drone knows about it, that's it. Hell of a match, Quirinus. Hell of a match. So, Protoss moving in for the final kill. Trying to take out Zerg's last base. There are 6 lurkers here. 6 lurkers who attempt to defend, and they'll do good damage before that observer gets here. But once the observer arrives, they can't do enough. They just don't have that DPS. They just do not have the DPS. GG from Quirinus. Asmodey tying it up 1-1.